Talking about people who aren't happy, already the Oyo State APC caucus, we understand that some rumbles have already been recorded talking about the Oyo State nominee in the person of Adebayo Adelabu. Well, they are saying that already the APC is a minority party, so to speak, in Oyo State, and bringing in a APC member as the nominee, the ministerial nominee, might just, be the nail in the coffin of the APC. I know you've spoken about the wounds that a thing like this will naturally record. And on the flip side again is how easy it would be for you to predict whether Nyesom Wike will eventually join the ranks of the APC, as well as, of course, Mr. Adelabu, if he will return to the APC.
Well, those are things to be to predict. The case of Adelabu, I see him coming back to APC. He went to Accord party because he wanted the platform to run for governor. I probably did that as a form of protest. That look, I was a candidate in this party. I lost when after Ajimobi, I was the candidate, and suddenly you guys are forgetting me. Things like that. Himself, he has his own grievance too. So these things happen. In the case of Rivers, well, Wike has never pledged that he will leave PDP. In fact, he probably needs to remain in PDP as a leader of PDP inside the APC in order to give problems to all those who are in APC who think that this is the opportunity for us to take over the PDP since Wike has left. But whereas Wike can become a master of PDP and become also a servant and a co-player in APC. He can have the best of both worlds for Rivers, because remember that we have Rotimi Amechi in Rivers as the leader of the APC in Rivers State. And Rotimi Amechi is not the best friend of the president at this moment. So a man like Wike, if he leaves the PDP, he will open the way for a man like Wike to go to PDP. Yes, and try to use that as a launching pad to fight for power. So they understand these calculations, and I don't think Wike will leave, because even the present governor is PDP and is a Wike's man. So you can see now that it is already a game that has already started for 2027.
It's really interesting to see from that perspective. All right, Sam.
Yes.
Now, the chief of staff to the president mentioned the issue of structuring and restructuring or reorganizing some of the ministries. We could see the mergence of some. We could also see the detachment of others. Some have mentioned the Ministry of Information and Culture. Some analysts have said that tourism and culture is a huge business and an endeavor by itself that shouldn't be subsumed under the Ministry of Information and so on. I wonder what you look at when it comes to ministries that could emerge.
Festus Keyamo, while giving his valedictory speech in the last administration, talked about the fact that some of these ministries can be broken into different parts in order to avoid what he called the problem of Minister of State, which was a valid point. I don't know if this administration will adhere to that kind of arrangement, but I know that already in the works is the whole idea of dealing with the humongous nature of some of these ministries. For instance, you have Ministry of Works, Housing, you have Ministry of Productivity and Labor, you have even petroleum. Some people say you can even break it to oil on one side and gas on the other side. There are all kinds of permutations going on and so on and so forth. All of these are necessary. Governance is a continuum. You also have the Ministry of Information and Culture. Information can be one, and culture can be another. We still have information in this regard, and I know that a person like Dele Alake is going to head the information arm, as you know, as a special advisor, is already doing that. I call him the organizer, the facilitator, and the articulator. He will be able to handle the information aspect of it. But these things are yet to be seen, because the same thing is going on with the parastatals. There's already a cost of governance committee that is already working to see how to realign all of these government agencies, for financial prudence, and also to make them lean and mean.
Right, and of course, the next big question would be who gets what, because the Tinubu administration has also kind of, made people to now be speculating as though there are some names that might just get specific roles. Like when you look at, the likes of a senior advocate of Nigeria and the person of Lateef Fagbemi, one would naturally reckon that perhaps he's been eyed for the exalted AGF position. But, what are your thoughts looking at this lineup of names so far? Does any strike you?
Yeah, that is one of the permutations. It is one of the permutations that you have, in this case. After you have fought to become a minister, you start fighting for portfolio. So that's another level that's going on now. The ministers are now saying, look, this is what I want to, sell them, give me, I want power, I want oil, I want this. But there are some that are very clear that you cannot fight it. You cannot fight Fagbemi. You cannot battle with him over the issue of Attorney General. He has been the leader of the APC. And Ashiwaju's fight. The other people who were mentioned who will not make it, like Tunde Ogala and so on and so forth. But you can only have one Attorney General, unless you want to have what we call Attorney General of the President, or the President of the nation, and
the Minister of Justice,
government,
or the Minister of Justice.
Justice and Attorney. Yes, we don't have that here. We have not split that here the way we did with Auditor General of the Federation and the Auditor General of the federal government. We've not done that. So a position like Attorney General is clear is going to be for Fagbemi. Position like Information is clear is going to be for Alake. But the others are not clear. You talk of medicine, you have a number of medical doctors there. You have Pate, you have
Edu.
You have Better Edu, you have if you have that thing, and then in terms of finance, you have quite a few people there. You have the lady from Imo, she's Minister, Commissioner of Finance. You have Edu. Edu is there's no way you can really decide who will be. Maybe Adelabu. Adelabu will be probably the Minister of Finance, or it could be Edu, or who will be planning and budget. It could be Edu, it could be Adelabu. You can start saying some things like that, where you have people with special skills and special acumen. But the rest of it, they're open. Like what will Wike have? Some people say maybe we go to FCT. Some people say maybe we go to Works, because people saw him as a great infrastructure governor. And all of that remains. All of that is in the hands of the president, and also the pressures. And also the pressures.
Yes, exactly. Part of the pressure. And for someone like Rufai also, who is there, who has also been seen as someone who does a lot of infrastructure, people jiggle things here and there and all of that. But let's talk about the involvement of women.
I see Rufai going to power.
Okay. Possibly.
Because the person who can give them fight in that place.
So they need to fight before light comes.
There's always power in this fight. There are so many gogs and magogs there. Principalities and powers in the power industry.
Principalities and powers in the power industry. It's all right. Now let's talk about the involvement of women. So far, we have seen in the 28 nominees, we've seen about 7 women, which constitutes about 25% so far of these names.
Yes.
Some people would say that this is encouraging so far. It gives a good reflection of what Ashiwaju, or the president, had promised before that he will look into women participation, and as well as youth. Of course, we've not seen the kind of youth that will be referenced in that context yet, but who knows? We still have about 13 names coming up. No one knows how that is going to be, but speak to us about the place of women on this list.
Yeah, there are a lot of there are a lot of people talking now about the women component of this cabinet so far. I mean, we have 7 women. We have people like Anatu Musawa from Katsina State. We have Beta Edu. We have Nkeri, the House of Rep person, the Nkiru lady from yes. Then we have Doris Uzoka from Imo. We have quite a few. We have quite a few of them. We have Uju Ohane from Anambra State. So it is good. Somebody they consider about 25% already. Not quite the 35% they have been clamoring for. But this is the most that we have seen in the cabinet in the history of this country. We still have 11 names, at least 11 or 12 names to go, you know. So we'll see how many women will be in that category. And most of these women, including one from Delta State, what's her name again? Okotete. Okotete right. From Delta State. All these people are also young. Many of them are young, under 40, and also in their 40s. So you can see that there was that demographic that has been taken care of, which is refreshing to this country.